My name is Lee Miller, and I'm a bootmaker here in Austin, Texas. My shop is called Texas Traditions. I grew up in Rutland, Vermont, and all of my older brothers were wearing cowboy boots, and my mother was wearing boots also. And so, I was kind of surrounded by that. Of course, I was a child of the times, and there were westerns on TV, and all of our idols were cowboys. And as I got older, and my brothers were wearing cowboy boots, also all the music, the icons of music were wearing cowboy boots. So it was really a time period of just being exposed to that. And so it was a natural thing that as my brothers outgrew their cowboy boots, I got to wear them too. But I was always fascinated with footwear. My grandfather had a store, and it was a woman's department store. My godfather was down in the basement, and that was where the shoe department was. And so as a young boy, I would be sent down to just be with my godfather, and he was known as a masterful fitter, and women would come from miles around just to have him fit their feet. So I would wander the aisles of all the shoes, in the boxes, and I would look at them all, and I wondered what was this mystery of footwear. And so that was just kind of there, lurking in the background. And then as I grew older, of course, I started wearing the cowboy boots that my brothers were wearing, and my mother wore boots also. So it all just kind of came together. And when I was 18 years old, my mother asked me, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to be a shoemaker or bootmaker. That's what I want to do." So from the ages of 18 to 20, I got a job in a local shoe repair shop with this Italian man, and I tried to make shoes on my own. Lenoci was the name of the gentleman, and his father was a shoemaker from Italy. And I remember when I was 18 and I went to work for Lenoci's, I was happy to meet his father, who spoke no English. And I remember I said, "Marty, tell your dad that I want to be a shoemaker." And so he told him in Italian. And he said something back in Italian, kind of feverishly. And I said, what did he say, Marty? What did he say? And Marty just said, "My dad says you're crazy." And so I was a little bit discouraged, but at the end of the day, his father tapped me on the shoulder, and he handed me his lasting pliers from Italy that he had used to make shoes in Italy. So I still have them, and I still use them every day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a gift from the old country. When I was 20 years old, I realized I wasn't getting where I wanted to be.
And this was in Vermont?
In Vermont, yeah. And so I went to my parents said, go to your high school guidance counselor, and we'll start looking for schools that you can go to. Well, the best school in the country was in Lynn, Massachusetts, and it had just burnt down. And so that was out of the picture. So there were only a few others that we could find, and of course this is long before the internet. One of them was in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So I traveled to Altoona, Pennsylvania to go and look at it, and it was horrible. There was no way I was going to go there, And so I went back discouraged, and that really left only one left after going through all of the possibilities. The only one left was in Oklahoma. So I rode away for information. This is near Tulsa, and everything looked good. It was very promising. So I was accepted, but it was a 2-year program, and you were going to learn how to make cowboy boots, which I was thrilled. Oh, I got to Oklahoma at the age of 20, and it was, I think it was March of 1975, and I was just blown away. It was unbelievable. I mean, it was so cool. This was a technical school. So it was the Oklahoma State University Technical Division. So they taught diesel mechanics, they taught architecture, they taught jewelry making, they taught a whole myriad of skills, and one of them was cowboy boots. And the classroom was filled with people just like me who had come from all over to learn how to make cowboy boots. It was wonderful not only to be in Oklahoma as somebody from Vermont, but also to be surrounded by all these people who were there for the same thing that I was looking for, which is how to learn how to make cowboy boots. One of my fellow students went on to found Merrill Footwear Company. So he was out of Utah, and he went to Lynn, Mass to learn how to make shoes, and he was there in Oklahoma to learn how to make cowboy boots. So when I graduated in 1976, he offered me a job to go to Utah and make cowboy boots and hiking boots. So that's what I did. And that's where I was when I got a call from Charlie Dunn, from the people here, and they had heard about me, and Charlie Dunn needed apprentices.
So how did he hear about you?
Well, there was a man who I went to school with in Oklahoma who landed a job with Charlie. And when Charlie needed more help, my name came up. And so Charlie said, find him. So it took him 4 months to find me. I didn't have a phone. And I was living on an Indian reservation in Utah. And I was, one day.
You can't make that up.
No. And one day, I had just had a really rough day at work. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like saying, okay, I either have to quit or I'm fired. I don't know which it is, but I can't go back to work. And there was a knock at the door, and they said, Lee, you have a phone call. And it was Steve calling on behalf of Charlie Dunn. And they were saying, we want you here, will you come?
And had you known who Charlie Dunn was at that time?
Oh yeah, living in Vermont, yes, I knew who Charlie was. A friend of mine had traveled to Austin, Texas, and got an album by Jerry Jeff Walker, and brought it back to Vermont and said, you got to hear this song. And it was called Charlie Dunn.
And that song kind of immortalized Charlie Dunn.
Right, and that was the, I remember sitting in his van, listening to the tape, and thinking, this guy's famous, and he's doing what I want to do, and never thinking that I would ever meet him, or go to work for him. I don't remember if I flew down here or if I got on a bus. I think I got on a bus, a Greyhound bus, and came here, and just instantly, it was November of 1977, and I knew the minute I walked in the door that I had found what I was looking for. And the workmanship that I saw here, Kirby, was like nothing I'd ever seen in my life. It was just the highest level of the craft being practiced. At the time that I came to work here, I believe I was one of 4. And it grew, but I stayed here. And I worked for Charlie for 9 years, and I met my wife here, Carlin. And in 1986, when Charlie retired at the age of 88, Carlin and I bought the shop. So we've had it since then, since 1986.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
It is, yeah, it really is. I was lucky. I was lucky to have met Carlin, and lucky to have found what I was looking for.
I'm Kirby Allison, founder of The Hanger Project, and we love helping the well-dressed take care of their wardrobes. Thanks for joining us today here at Texas Traditions. I hope you enjoyed learning about Lee Miller. If you have any questions about what you saw in the video today, feel free to ask them in the comments section below. I enjoy getting back to all those questions personally. Most importantly, if you enjoyed the video, let us know. Give us the thumbs up or subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive future notifications. I'm Kirby Allison, founder of The Hanger Project, and thanks for joining us.